Yo, I'm building my own dream. All because y'all said I couldn't.
Two for the team, we getting off of the block. I see him aiming at me, tell him get off of my jock. I'm gon' black out, I'm gon' black out, I'm gon' black out. Give me my ish, I'm back now.
What's up, y'all, and welcome to another episode of the How to Build Your Own Dreams podcast.
Yep.
I'm Erin Knight, the president of Build Your Own Dreams.
I'm Brandon Boone. I'm VP, co-founder, Shaq.
I'm Penny.
Idiot.
No, it's actually backwards because remember I turned.
I'm Penny, you Shaq.
Yeah.
All right.
Only because I think even playing style, you're way more of an agile, skillful technique, and I'm kind of like I use the things that I have and throw my weight around.
Yo.
You know what I'm saying? So I think even when it comes to playing style, it's like I'm not as skilled of a player, but my charisma leads me, and you're like a way more skilled player, but stature wise, like people would count you out. So you really had to learn how to maneuver, and now you're the killer on the floor.
I can dig it. And Penny was one of my favorite players growing up too. So
Yeah, it seems right.
I'm rocking with it. You know what I'm saying? So,
Shaq and Penny, for those who didn't watch 90s basketball, you just need to go look up the dynamic duo of Shaq and Penny.
Facts. So yeah, this is the How to Build Your Own Dreams podcast. For some of y'all who's just tuning in, we started this podcast last year, and we do it every time that me and Aaron is together because he's based in Atlanta. I'm based in Austin. So it's hard for us to, of course, record.
It's not that hard because we're
cities.
we're together all the time.
Yeah, now we together quite a bit. But so yeah, today I'm about to say Philly, yo. Where are we? We in New Orleans. We're in my home state.
That's crazy because he just texted me from Philly right
That's
when you
crazy.
said, like, literally my phone started vibrating.
So yeah, we in my home state. You know what I'm saying? We in the boot.
For the first time together. You've been telling me I gotta come here to
But I gotta
eat.
take you to my hometown.
Yeah,
though.
for
I'm
sure.
from Shreveport, bro. We from the North Louisiana. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
that way.
it feels good to be back in the state. We've been eating good. The best seafood, Southern
We have
comfort
been
food.
eating very good.
Know what I'm saying?
Minus them trash beignets we had today. And that one restaurant they sent us to yesterday.
Yeah, I was very disappointed.
But everything else has been great.
So yeah, we out here working a conference. I'm sure we can talk about it a little bit more in another episode.
It'll be super tight. We're going to break it down for y'all while we
Facts.
out here. But
Facts.
that's not what we're talking about
Hey,
today.
We outside.
Always.
But today, yeah, we just want to kind of talk about talent, right?
Yes.
You know, a lot of times we're a creative agency, we're an independent label, right?
Mm-hmm.
We work with a ton of artists.
Yes.
And we have conversations with a lot of different artists. And a lot of times, I guess they don't comprehend that, like, there's a ton of y'all out here, right?
Literally.
You know what I'm saying?
I live in Atlanta, and I tell people all the time, I could throw a rock and hit 10 talented people.
Facts. And I think sometimes artists get lazy. I'm going to just say it. Because they just feel like their talent is enough, right? They feel like just because they can rap good, sing good, that should be enough, right? That should get them the fan base they want. That should be enough to get them the career that they want. You know what I'm saying? The accolades, the awards. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but
they're like, I'm slept on because I'm talented.
right, but it's like at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how talented you are. That means nothing. It's all about how much work you're willing to put in. You know, how consistent can you be? On top of of course, making good music is a start, right? You have to have that. But even then, I feel like even trash artists who put in the work is making it. You know what I'm saying?
And it's like
but
music is subjective, so good music is like, there's so many people are like, oh, they fire, and I'm like, for real?
Right. And then even another concept is like, I don't think a lot of artists, a lot of people even realize it's like, you know, everybody want to grow up. A lot of us from our community, right, want to grow up to be an athlete. But your chances is actually better to be an athlete than an artist.
Right, making money successfully as an artist,
it's
right?
a ton of more artists out in the world compared to athletes. Cause
it's said that 1% of all artists in the world are making making money off of their art.
Right.
So this isn't necessarily just music artists, it's just artists in the world. 1% are making money off of their art. And in music, I think SoundCloud released this years ago because I remember talking to somebody, and I'm sure it's more people now, but in music, it's 0.01% are making a livable wage off of the music that they're releasing.
Right. That's crazy. And then in the last year, Spotify said, is it 100,000 songs per, is it per day or per month?
I think it's per day. It's either per day or per week.
Either one
are being
is crazy,
uploaded to their platform. Yeah. I
So
think
it's
it's
like
daily or weekly, which is
something
insane.
like that. Either way, even if it's monthly, that's just crazy. That's 100,000 monthly. You know what I'm saying?
No,
or weekly, or daily,
it's
whatever.
definitely
It's
not
100,000
monthly.
people. That's what I mean. It's 100,000 songs.
Yeah, being uploaded to the
which
platform.
equate to still thousands, multiple tens of thousands of people, of artists. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, this is your competition, so you can't be lazy. You can't just rely on talent, yo.
But the thing is, that's not even their competition. Artists aren't competing with other artists. Artists are competing for people's attention.
Right.
Artists are competing with YouTube. They're competing with Netflix.
TV.
They're competing with people's kids. It's like you're competing for people's attention. This podcast, we're competing for attention. So right now, we're in competition with our artists, with every other podcast, with every other thing, the news feed, people wanting to go out to eat with their friends,
Right.
anything that can entertain or make you excited, that's what our competition
Facts.
is. It's not really other podcasts. You're not really competing with other artists. You're competing for attention. So talent isn't enough because there's so much out there. You have to cut through the noise. And just by being talented, that's not cutting through the noise.
Facts.
A lot of times, the way that you cut through the noise is by being somebody who gets people's attention. And I think there's two ways to get attention. There is, and this is not technical, so I don't have really terms. You can either get people's attention through them caring about you, or you can get people's attention by annoying/scaring them. So the news will either bother you or scare you.
Right.
That's how they get attention. Your family can bother you or scare you, but a lot of times it's like they get your attention because you care about them. And so that's why with us, with our artists, we became community builders. We're not competing because we're building community. We're searching out people who care about what we're building, who care about what our artists are doing, who care about what our artists believe in. And through that care, we're able to garner interest for the projects and the
Right.
creations that they're putting out into the world, which are hopefully enhancing and encouraging and building their community. A lot of people become spectacles. That's your like 6ix9ines. That's your riffraffs.
Right, yeah.
Those are like
yeah,
the
yeah.
shock value people. That's, what's that dude's name? That podcaster. That's Joe Rogan.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
you can have the shock value or you can create care, and that's how you get people involved. So like LaRussell, for example, one of our favorite case studies, LaRussell builds community with his fans, so he's not competing. He's like, no, my people care about me. Anytime I'm there, they're pulling up.
Right.
That's like with me, for example, I don't have to worry about B pulling up for me because he cares about me. I don't have to I don't have to tell this shocking story like, I'm like bleeding on the pavement. I really need you to come. It's like, no, this is my dog. Like, yo, can you pull up? And he's there. There's a difference between community. Otherwise, it's just like an ambulance. The
Right.
ambulance is only showing up if it's an emergency. Like you gotta be, and even then,
They might show up. You know what I'm saying?
yo, they might show up.
Before
So-
it's too late.
Yeah, so you got to really consider like how you're cutting through the noise. Because talent, there's so many talent. There's so many talent. There's people more talented than us
Facts.
doing way less than what we're doing because talent isn't all that
Right.
matters.
And same as sports, right? We take it back to basketball. Man, there's a ton of hoopers out there, yo, that I guarantee you can smash your favorite NBA player today.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? But they either don't have the work ethic, or some of them don't even have the resources, of course. But a lot of times it's just they got in trouble a lot. They don't have the focus. You know what I'm saying? which is can correlate to being an artist. Like if an artist, if you're not dialed in, if you're not focused, if you're not putting in the work, you know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. You never gonna
Yeah.
really cut through the noise.
And
You could
then-
be you could be the best rapper ever, you know what I'm saying? But if you don't have everything else to complement that, it's like, hey.
And a lot of people will be like, oh, I don't have the team and the resources, yada, yada,
Right.
yada. They use that as an excuse. But if you leverage your talent and you build care, then we both used to play sports. I used to have coaches come out the woodwork to give me opportunities. Like my parents didn't want to pay for AAU. So I remember I was playing and I could hoop when I was younger.
Right,
You know,
yeah.
when I was young and fit, I could hoop.
Yeah.
And I remember all these AU coaches were like, oh, Aaron should come out for our team. And my mom would be like, I'm not paying for that.
Right,
Like
right,
straight
right.
up, my
Yeah,
mom would
yeah,
be
yeah.
like, I'm not paying for that. It got to a point where coaches were like, she can come play for free. And then some coaches would be like, she can play for free, but we'll also pay for all her travel. So then my mom was like, all right, you can play with them. You know, so I ended up, shout out to the
Right.
Georgia
Yeah.
Pearls.
Yeah.
You know, y'all know back in our heyday. Really. But it was like, so that's just a small example, but I know dudes, you know, like you see the movie The Blind Side. I know so many dudes who live a real good life because they can play a sport and keep their head down.
Right.
And so same with music or anything. If you're good at what we've been needing mentors forever. Like for real. But as Brandon and I have kept working in this industry and kept our head down and just been like, we need help, but we can't find it. Okay, we're going
Right.
to pay for consultations
Yeah.
here. We're going to pull up to this conference here. We're going to pull up on this person and know they're going to be at this bar and try to have a conversation with them there. Now it's like people really are coming to us like, yo, anytime y'all need help, like, yo, what are y'all up to? Like, yo, come talk to us. You know, we're really starting to get brought in, but a lot of people will stop before they get to this point because they're like, people aren't rocking with me.
Right. You
Nobody's
gotta keep
showing
pushing,
me
yo.
love. You know,
Hey,
so
what they
artists, you got to
said-
keep going.
You wasn't with me shooting in the gym. So if you the only one shooting in the gym right now, you got to just keep shooting.
Keep shooting.
Somebody going to come train with you.
Yep.
Eventually, they going to see you.
Because you'll be too good for everybody not to want to be around you.
Facts.
That's the point we're getting to now. And this is like not a brag, but it's the truth. It's getting to the point now. Folks starting to come around and we like, why are you here?
Right.
But people can't help but want to be around greatness. If you keep perfecting your craft, and I'm not saying just making the good music, because you could make a bunch of, I had this one dude tell me he had like 800 songs on his hard drive. And I was like, why are you telling me that?
Right.
And he was like, because I'm working. I'm like, you think you working? But if it's at home, yes, your art may be good, but if nobody can have access to it, it doesn't exist.
Facts.
It literally doesn't exist.
It's just living on your
Because
hard
he could be
drive.
lying to me. He could be saying, I got 800 songs on my heart.
Yeah.
Do you really? I don't know. You may. So like you gotta
And them
keep,
songs, you might have 800 fire songs on the hard
they
drive
could be
too.
Grammy winning.
You know what I'm saying?
But if they're not out, they don't exist. And I think that's the thing. It's like this grind can be discouraging for sure, but talent isn't enough. You have to show up consistently. You got to be outside and you got to work to make people care about you. And people care when you care about them. That reciprocity within the relationship is what really starts to develop you as an artist. And as you get outside, as you get into the real world, you start talking to people, you're like, oh, wait, this is what da-da-da is doing.
Right.
When you on the internet, all you're doing is guessing. Well, he's connected to this person and they got money for this. I be so sick of people talking like that. You actually don't know. It could be his uncle, but really it could have been he pulled up to a conference. They liked the way that this and this happened. They got connected to, so like get outside, talk to people, learn, make people care about what you're doing, but don't just get upset because you're talented and nobody's showing love.
Facts. So I know one of the other arguments is like, I don't have the money, right?
Neither did we.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Don't use that as an excuse. Like, you have to use what you have. And granted, I know there's a lot of people going through a lot of tough stuff. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking to you. I'm talking about the ones that use that as an excuse. Coda the friend. Another case study we like to talk about, right? This man was shooting stuff on his iPhone, yo. He was shooting his own videos on his iPhone.
He just bought a tripod.
You know what I'm saying? So, okay, you don't have a homie that can shoot for you on your phone? I bet you have a phone, right?
You complaining.
You got a phone.
You're complaining on Instagram
You know what
from
I'm
your
saying?
iPhone.
You know what I'm saying? You got your phone. If you on Instagram, you got Wi-Fi. That means you can access YouTube, right?
You can hack your phone.
Yo, it's so many tips on YouTube to show you how to shoot quick videos on your phone. Go buy you a $15 tripod from Amazon, yo.
Cheaper.
And go to work. So $15, you already got a smartphone. I know you got an iPhone, probably the latest version.
Most people aren't
You know what
broke,
I'm
they're just
saying?
lazy.
Come on.
Most people aren't broke, they're just
Come
lazy.
on.
And that's a fact because lazy people will cry broke.
Come
Lazy
on, yo.
people will say, I don't have no money, so I can't do this.
No.
Listen, if you, and I'm being serious again, not negating people who are down on their luck, but I'm saying like,
For the lazy people, yo.
I was living with my friends. I had all like second and third hand furniture. You know what I'm saying? I was working at a coffee shop making like $9.50 an hour plus tips. I might have made $12. And somehow I was still throwing shows and events.
Come on.
But I was working off of what I had. I knew I didn't have money to book the venue. So I go to the venues and I'd be like, give me your slowest day. You know, and I was turning out a relationship with them. So I had this one venue that would give me Sundays for $125. So then I was like, okay, just take it out of my ticket sales.
Right.
So I didn't have to front the $125. Then I would take my check before my bills were due and I would go print physical tickets. I used to be able to get 100 physical tickets for $12.75 from this Ticket Alternative. You know them?
No, I haven't heard of them.
So from Ticket Alternative, I used to be able to get 100 tickets for $12.75. So I'd take my check, I would go get those tickets. And then I would call all the artists and I would meet up with them before I went to work and I'd give each of them 10 tickets.
Right,
Do you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about, listen, I was making on a good day $12 an hour, working maybe like 30 hours a week and still trying to make the music thing happen. Like I was making $25 more per week than I could qualify for food stamps. So I couldn't afford to eat, but I couldn't get food stamps.
Right.
Like I was down bad. But I really believed in this music joint. And it's like, I gotta figure this out. And I could have worked somewhere else, probably, maybe. I don't know. I just was like, I had tunnel vision. I was broke. I got a job.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I wasn't thinking like, let me sit. I never sat for long enough to get that frustrated. I did sometimes, but it's like broke. I got a job. Oh, there's another opportunity for me to get a better. Oh, now I can manage this venue.
Right.
I work at the coffee shop in the morning. I'm managing the venue at night, so I get free access to the venue. But I also am making an additional now $200 a week. $200 a week was life changing to me. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta figure it out, y'all. Most people aren't broke; they're lazy.
And then now, it's so many different ways to get money, y'all. Like in this time that we're in right now, I'm not talking to the people that's just going through it. I'm talking to the lazy people right now.
Especially young people who don't have no kids or no real responsibilities.
Yo, it's so many different, It got Uber, Instacart, Dash, Amazon deliveries, Amazon fulfillment. It's Amazon warehouses everywhere.
Fiverr, Thumbtack.
All of them joints, y'all.
Just get on your phone and look up them apps.
Come on, charging the scooters.
Boy,
Niggas be eating off that joint. So
okay, but I was trying to charge Lime
I
scooters
think you got
when I was in that time where I was
See?
super duper broke.
Yo.
When I was making 12 an hour, and I paid for them chargers. It's 37. I'll never forget this. It was 37.50.
It's all about the systems, yo.
Brandon, I saved for like 3 checks because I used to end up with
You had the van though.
I used to only have like $15 at the end of every check, Brandon. So I'm saving to buy these chargers, Brandon. I get the chargers. Every time I charged the Lime and returned it, the app would not work. I was
You be
borrowing.
having the weirdest luck sometimes.
I was borrowing people's cars to go pick up lines because I didn't even have a. I was down
about to say
bad,
that's
bad.
why a lot of ones I see people do. They be having like trucks.
No,
or
I was
vans,
borrowing
you know
my
what I'm saying?
mom's car. I was because I drove a little hatchback.
Right.
You remember that little red hatchback Honda? I couldn't fit not one Lime in there, so I would borrow people's car, and then that car just kept having issues. I'd borrow people's. I'd be like, "Can I borrow your car on Thursday night and next Saturday?" Every time, Brandon, I probably
That's
charged
crazy, yo.
like 30 or 40 limes and I got, and they won't let you cash out until you charge a certain amount.
Right.
I had like $8.75 in my account because I could only charge like 4, and then I couldn't withdraw it, and I needed that $8.75 because I had to put gas in the car. I couldn't, and after like 30 limes and not getting my money. So shout out to y'all with the hustles, but sometimes they just don't work out.
Right, yeah.
But I've made it to this moment. And now we in New Orleans getting paid not to do anything.
Chill. We outside though. But anyway, it's so many. Don't let money be excuse. And then the other thing, a lot of y'all like to say, well, nobody listening to my music, or nobody
That's
watching
true.
my videos.
That's also true.
On social media. Okay, how long you been doing it? Huh? Okay, 1 week.
Let's
Nigga,
break this.
What?
Let's break this down, Brendan.
What?
This is probably like episode 15 or 16, maybe 14 of our podcast.
I don't know yet. Don't
Well,
call us.
it could be somewhere between episode
like 11
10.
or 12 or something like that.
It's somewhere between episode 10 and 14.
Come on.
We got to the 200 download point when we hit like episode 5 or 6. That means that 200 people actively listen to our podcast, which is really exciting for
Right,
us.
that's fire.
But if y'all look on the grand scale of things, 200 people ain't nobody. Our podcast gets on average on YouTube between like 15 and 50 views.
No, it's up now. I think it takes time. We between 50 and 75.
Okay,
views, you know?
between 50 and 75 views.
Yeah. On
But
YouTube.
we are so determined for this to work out. We said we're really not going to look at numbers till we hit 100 episodes. So our goal this year is to get to 100 episodes. There's only 52 weeks in a year, which means at some point we're going to have to start dropping 2 episodes a
Facts.
week. Well, some point soon. It may have to get up to 3 episodes a week. But between now and February of next year, we're going to have 100 episodes out. I don't know how we're going to do it, but that's when we know what our tipping point is. You got to have enough content out in the world before you get upset. Most people will post consistently for 5 or 6 weeks.
Right.
And
If
then
that, yo.
True. And
If
then they'll be
that.
like, yo, people aren't rocking with me. And then they'll be like, well, I dropped all this stuff last year and people didn't really rock with it. It's like you haven't dropped anything in 6 months and you still talking about how people weren't rocking with you. Like, we've dropped songs with BYOD, we've dropped merch with BYOD, and every time it doesn't go well, we look at ourselves. We say, we haven't put enough content out. We haven't been consistent enough. So you can't blame other people. Consistency is most people's problem.
Come on. So we just want to encourage y'all, whether you, and this applies to anything, you know what I'm saying? If you an artist or a painter, graphic designer, or, you know what I'm saying, whatever you trying to do, just don't rely on your talent. You just got to put in the work. Go get it, you know what I'm saying? Don't stop. Put the foot on their necks, y'all.
Go build your own dream.
Foot on the pedal. Don't let up. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep pushing, keep going. Again, we not even saying we really have a podcast till we had 100 episodes,
Right.
yo. So set you a number and go after it. Don't say you doing it until you hit that number. and then reevaluate. You know what I'm saying? Okay, now it's time to maybe we don't need to do a podcast. Maybe we need to switch it up or
That's
whatever.
That's
you know
what
what I'm
I
saying?
did with TikTok. I went steady with TikTok for 6 months, dropping a video every single day, and then it didn't really go nowhere, and I was
Yeah.
really upset about
Yeah.
it. And then everybody was like, "Well, you got to post 3 times a day, and you got to consistently post at this time." And I realized at that point I wasn't cut out for it.
Right.
So I'm like,
And that's
I'm
okay.
I'm not upset at anybody. I can't be blaming nobody, but TikTok is just not for me. I don't have enough bandwidth currently to make 3 videos to post hour by hour. It's just not for me. But what I can do is I can prioritize
Right.
sitting down with Brandon every single time we're together, and we're going to record multiple podcasts. What I can prioritize is posting at least
That's
twice a month on
the algorithm
Instagram.
be changing like the weather, yo. Especially Instagram. That's a whole
Changing
other
like the
conversation.
weather.
And that's
Yeah.
another point.
Facts. You can't
Again,
be
don't-
upset at these algorithms.
You can't, yo. You just gotta keep pushing through, doing what you do it well, and get outside, y'all. Just don't sit behind the internet or the keyboard.
Okay, I know, this is a quick aside. I rarely post on Instagram. It's really bad. I'm trying to get better, y'all. I post on Instagram. I think I've posted twice this year, and it's March 1st.
Yo, you
Maybe
wildin'.
3 times this year.
You
I'm
wildin'.
trying to do better. I got to do better. I'm personally saying I got to do better. However, I have so much content out on the internet because I'm doing interviews. I'm on the MEC podcast. I'm on this podcast. We own Build Your Own Dreams, so we're on
Right,
that page. There's so much content out on the internet for me, but also we're outside.
Facts.
My Instagram has been in an upward trend of followers for the last 2 years because we're outside. People are still coming to me. I'm still getting job opportunities. We're still getting consultations in the DMs because even though I don't post a lot, and this is not an excuse for you to post a lot, but I'm outside so much, it's still growing. So a lot of times when people see no growth, it's because they literally sit on the internet and watch other people.
Facts.
They don't post. They don't go to conferences. They don't. If you go outside and you got a cool personality, you gonna get at least 5 new
Right.
followers.
You gonna
We
win.
had something not even related to music this week, managing a production. We just going up in Instagram followers because
Facts.
people are
Everybody
like, "What do
tryna
y'all
tap
do?
in,
What y'all
yeah.
do? Y'all are cool." So if you have a good personality and you're outside, you're gonna grow, and people are gonna want to be engaged in what you're doing. Don't use people ain't rocking with my music or whatever. Even with the algorithms messing up, I don't post and my Instagram is growing. You gotta figure it out, yo. You gotta figure it out.
Yeah, figure it out. Shout out Ed Castillo. That's Figure Out Agency.
Yeah, shout
That's
out
their
Ed.
motto. Yeah. But anyways, I ain't gonna hit you over the head, y'all. Follow your dreams, get out there,
Come
go
on,
get
Dad.
it. You know what I'm saying? If you rocking with the podcast, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Like, share, comment. If you're not following us yet, please go follow us and subscribe to the channel. And yeah.
Go build your own dreams. We're proud of you. We believe in you. This is just
Facts.
encouragement. You can do anything that you set your mind to. You just gotta be consistent.
Yes, sir. Peace.